attack on women's equality as the birthplace of Emmeline Pankhurst is broken into twice in a week. The Pankhurst Trust is overjoyed and blown away as thousands of pounds worth of donations come flooding in.
From guitars to bottles to scaffolding, we learn how one man is plucking at the heartstrings, helping homeless people to earn money.
Hello, a very good afternoon. We start with the disappointing news that the birthplace of Emmeline Pankhurst, suffragette and figurehead of the women's rights movement, has been broken into twice in the last week. Roughly £15,000 worth of damage has been done to the converted house.
Damage to soft furnishings, collectible items and the Grade 2 listed building itself are now in need of repair. Francesca Rain looks after fundraising for the Pankhurst Trust and issued a public plea for urgent cash. Our reporter, Will Dixon, has been down to the Pankhurst Trust in the Cholton to see the extent of the damage.
This museum is homage to a Salford icon. Emmeline Pankhurst, the woman who founded the suffragettes, became a national hero as she became the figurehead of the movement to give women the right to vote. However, the museum today is left broken and damaged after it was broken into last week. Francesca Rain sat down and explained the damage that was done by the break-in.
So we became aware last Tuesday morning that
Homelessness is a major issue in Greater Manchester, with the local council and charities working towards solving the problem. However, hobby guitarist Tommy Smith has a different approach. He uses bottles, scaffolding and guitars to help the homeless. Lars Magnus Roys went to Manchester City Centre to find out how. Jesus Christ.
Manchester, a city of music, a city of culture, but also a city of rough sleepers. In Greater Manchester, 5,564 households. 1,088 of those are from Salford. Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham have made tackling homelessness one of his key projects, with charity events taking place across the area to back it. 41-year-old Tommy Salford Hugh, on the other hand, has his own way of helping the homeless. Keywords: bottles, scaffolding and guitars.
I showed him how I used the scaffolding. You know, they can just rub the guitar up the scaffolding and play it like that, and give them a gimmick so they could earn some extra spondulics, you know, earn some extra money just to so they can get by.
Nicola Wright, who's been homeless for 3.5 years, wishes she could entertain for money.
It's difficult right now for people. People don't have a lot of money. So for me, somebody like me, to just sit on the floor and hold out my hands and ask for give outs, to a lot of people that's, you know, it's not right. And it doesn't sit right with me. To be able to offer something rather than just holding out your hand would be much, much better. And there's a lot of wasted talent out here, a lot.
So, are the people of Manchester more willing to give away a bit of their money if the Rough Sleepers play one of these?
I might be intrigued to watch it for a while, but it wouldn't sort of provoke me into giving them money just because it was a bit of a gimmick.
No, it's whether I feel they're genuine or not whether they're doing something for their money or whether they're not.
I usually sort of go to with a gimmick because at least they're trying to make an effort to sort of take money away from you, whereas some people just say, you know, can you donate anything? I'm a bit more hesitant in a way because, you know, they're not really trying to show any form, because at least when I was in Liverpool, someone did a little joke saying, I'm trying to buy a Ferrari, and I thought, give me a little smile, it's like, here's £1, have a good day. It's like little things like that, it's to show, you know, a bit more human, where someone says, can I have some change?
So, what is Tommy's advice for those wanting to play guitar and help the homeless?
Stop thinking about it, just go and do it.
Last one is Royce, Salford Now, Manchester.
Still to come on Salford Now. Salford charity Kids Can took part in a superhero-themed inflatable race called Kapow, which raised money and awareness for children with cancer.
And a local couple have brought the fight to tackle obesity and mental health to their community's doorstep.
People just generally don't protect themselves. The problem is there's not much accessible available quality health and nutrition advice out there that's affordable for your average Joes.
Here's George Whitehouse with the sports.
Thank you. Yes, Salford Red Devils forward Tyrone McCarthy is now the new coach of Salford's University Rugby League team. McCarthy is set to coach his first game on Wednesday, and just 3 days later he could walk out at Old Trafford in the Super League Grand Final. Alistair Hancock has more.
Way free, don't stop before the cone, don't stop before the cone. Nice.
From playing to coaching, Tyrone McCarthy has hinted at the possibility of his University of Salford Rugby League players having the opportunity of joining Salford Red Devils reserve side in 2020.
Big opportunity with the reserves starting back at Salford next year, and that's kind of what I've said to the lads, is that if I spot anything, I'll be relaying that to the club, and hopefully there's a few surprises in there. The opportunity is there, it's just about lads taking it. I played university rugby myself, so I know first and foremost it's about having a good time, and that's what I want to bring to it, but I know you enjoy it more when you're winning, so hopefully we can have a bit of success on the pitch too.
In what could be the most memorable week of his life, Tyrone McCarthy will take charge of his first Salford University Rugby League game as Salford face Bangor University on Wednesday. Just 3 days later, Salford Red Devils played their first ever Super League Grand Final against St Helens at Old Trafford.
We were placed at the start of the year as possible relegation along with London. Yeah, we have got nothing to lose, but I've been involved with a final myself when I was a massive underdog with Old Kingston Rovers, and we got pumped that day and it wasn't nice. It's probably...
The Rugby League Grand Final press conference was held at Old Trafford yesterday, where Red Devils coach Ian Watson and their captain Lee Mossop reflected on what the team has done to put their players in the Grand Final for the first time in the club's history.
From daring to dream to the theatre of dreams, Red Devils captain Lee Mossop has praised head coach Ian Watson for securing their place in the Grand Final.
I don't want to sit here and be coach's pet, but he's been a massive reason for that. Obviously it's well reported, a lot of the players in our squad were at low points in their careers, or they weren't wanted, or whatever. There's loads of reasons, but luckily he saw something in all of us. He's brought us back, he's got playing our best rugby, and I think that's probably one of his tributes as a coach, to see the best in players and bring that out of them. It's very special.
Ian Watson's squad ran out 28-4 over Wigan Warriors in the Super League semi-final, but the Salford-born head coach stresses how important the squad's team's ethics have been so far.
It's just been a combination of hard work and values amongst our squad and our backroom team, really, to commit to each other and choose to make the right choices going forward as a group. That's what our group's been built on. It's been built on guys who don't want to crave the limelight. They want to do the hard work for each other and not let each other down.
Thank you very much for that, George. Just a quick one. Why did the chairman lose his job?
Of Swinton Lions. The Swinton Lions chairman got sacked. Well, he left, sorry, because there were some differences. So he was wanting to get the name changed of the team to Manchester Lions. But there was a few people on the board and a few fans behind the scenes who weren't too happy with that. So that's why he left.
And Salford-based charity Kids Can were flying high on Sunday as they took part in a superhero-themed inflatable race alongside the Marks & Spencer's Heroes. The event was to help raise money and awareness for children with cancer. Rachel Harrison went down to Heaton Park over the weekend to find out more.
A fun day filled with capes, foam and lots of laughter. A group of volunteers from the British retailer Marks & Spencer's took part in Kapow, a 5k obstacle course with a superhero challenge theme. The aim of the run to help raise funds for Salford-based charity Kids Can, who participate in research for children with cancer. Cancer is the leading cause of death in children in the UK. 1 in 500 children will be diagnosed with cancer before they are 14 years old. 25% of children diagnosed won't make it to their 30th birthday. Since 2002, Kids Can has funded over 35 research projects and hopes to make a difference through finding results in their investigations to provide more treatments specifically created for children's cancer. Volunteer officer Siobhan Connolly expressed her dedication for wanting the company to help beat children's cancer.
Our aim is to find safer, less toxic treatments for children's cancer. A lot of money goes to adult cancer treatments rather than children's cancer, and it's to do with there are less children than adults who get cancer, so it's less profitable for larger pharmaceutical companies. I hope that we have more labs, more research. I hope that we develop our lobbying so that larger pharmaceutical companies will fund more treatments into children's cancer, and children won't just be given watered down adult treatments that affect their bodies. I would like every student on campus to know about KidsCan and to see how we can work with them. We will just want everyone in Salford to know the amazing work we're doing.
The proud group of M&S employees came together as part of a volunteer project to participate in helping raise money for the research work. The group had the opportunity to look into how research is developed, which spurred them to want to help more.
We've climbed over inflatable slides, we've trudged through lots of muck, we've got very wet and dirty, but yeah, all over that 5k course, it's been great. What KidsCan does is it researches specific treatments for children's cancer, and they were just absolutely inspirational. So I suppose it's about getting the KidsCan name out there and getting people to understand what they do and how amazing they are.
With the ongoing research that KidsCan is undertaking, the company hopes that the UK and specifically Salford will give more assistance in helping finding an effective and particular treatment for children with cancer. Today's event has been filled with families, friends and even colleagues joining together to support such a wonderful cause, proving that not all superheroes wear capes. Rachel Allison, Salford Now.
3, 2, 1,
Oh, that's sweet. Now, wannabe gardeners from Worsley College have been wearing their wellies and gloves this week, trying to create a friendly forest for the children at Forest Green Nursery. 9 students between the age of 16 and 25 have been creating dens, play areas and even a fire pit for the children to enjoy. The gardeners are hoping to have the finished forest by this Friday for the grand reveal. We'll have more on that story next week.
Over 75 workers from a housing association based in Salford have voted for industrial action with regards to pay. The Liberty Group, which is a subsidiary of 4 Viva Housing, covers a substantial number of homes in the Salford area. Henry Martindale was at one of the affected properties earlier.
Its members with its community-led approach to tackling obesity and mental health. With creative exercises and teamwork, the classes bring together people to motivate and support each other to achieve their goals.
I've lost just over 1.5 stone, so
We apologise, not quite got the right news story in there to show you. Our next story though, a Salford couple have been pressing the fat on the obesity crisis, if you pardon the pun. They say that issues with weight and mental health are rife within their community. They think they've come up with the perfect solution. Now we're going to see that report again. Zach Raphael reports.
A fitness group in Salford is changing the lives of its members with its community-led approach to tackling obesity and mental health. With creative exercises and teamwork, the classes bring together people to motivate and support each other to achieve their goals.
I've lost just over 1.5 stone, so
Is it ended out? Go back. Trojan horse. How much are we under?
Now, the award-winning play Trojan Horse opens tonight at Salford's Lowry Theatre. The play, written and produced by the Lung Theatre Company, tackles extremism and is based on real-life events. Director Matt Woodhead and engagement manager Madiha Ansari are hopeful for a good reception.
I think what we're doing is kind of putting out another side of the story that hasn't been heard before. I think particularly at the minute, the sphere in which other stories are heard seems to be shrinking and shrinking, and theatre is increasingly feeling like one of the only places left where you can kind of platform another voice and let that be heard. So what we're doing more than anything is kind of just saying to people who come and see the show, like, this is the other side that you haven't heard, make up your own mind.
It's been over 2 weeks since the liquidation of Thomas Cook, and many of the 21,000 employees are still trying to recover from their unexpected redundancy. However, many of the company's staff working abroad continued working for days after the liquidation.
Megan Rouse, Weast local and former holiday entertainer for the bus company, was in Portugal at the time the news broke. She said staff were shocked by the news and were concerned as to how and when they would be able to return home.
Some of my team were just like, well, have we got a job or not? Because I'm not coming to work if I've not got a job. They were worried, obviously. They didn't have a negative attitude. They were just worried because we weren't in the...
The funeral of a 100-year-old Salford war veteran will be held tomorrow after a plea from mourners to attend. Oswald Dixon was the oldest resident at Broughton House Care Home in Salford and spent his last years alone, believing he had no immediate family.
Oswald served in the war after joining the RAF in his hometown of Kingston in Jamaica. The funeral will take place at Agecroft Cemetery and Crematorium in Salford starting at 2:20 p.m.
Well, it's no surprise the weather's not been great. Here's Renee to tell you how that's not really going to change at all.
Thank you very much. Now, there's highs of 16 Celsius this week, but unfortunately, Salford showers are set to dominate the weather as rain takes centre stage as if it was performing for 7 days at the Lowry Theatre. Looks like it's not the best week to recreate that iconic photo of the Smiths outside of Salford Lads Club. Follow my lead instead and recreate Betty's famous hot pot at home. In fact, I might go to Coronation Street now to see if I can get the recipe. Back to Joe and Molly in the studio.
Now, don't you forget your woolly hat, Molly. Don't you forget that. You'll need those and some gloves, I tell you.
Yeah, I definitely won't. And my brolly as well, yeah, of course.
That's it from us at Salford Now. You can follow us and our latest stories on salfordnow.co.uk and follow our socials on Twitter and Facebook at Salford Now.
Have a great rest of the week and goodbye. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Goodbye.